Why are you laying like that?
Look at me at the bar.
I know.
Hello, folks. Okay, let me scoot the pillow. Let me scoot my booster seat over.
Stop, Cecily. Hey guys, it's your girl Atavia and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a special guest. This is a Cecily's perspective.
Yeah, I am also on YouTube as well, so if you guys want to see some more of me after this video, of course, it will be linked down below, I'm assuming.
And we just so happen to be friends, which I'm so grateful for. And today we are going to share things we wish we knew before moving to Paris. Some of you guys have requested to hear what I wish I knew personally, and there are definitely some things. So I've actually been living in Paris kind of for a year and like 7 months in the past. It's been all over the place. I know all the crap that happens.
Yeah, she's a Paris expat.
How long have you been living here, girl?
I have been in Paris for, at the end of this summer in 2021, I will be here officially for 3 years. So I feel like I know the city kind of like the back of my hand.
She's been here for so long and she is truly the Paris plug. You can come to her and ask her anything about Paris and she will know. That's why I thought she would be perfect for this video, because she's been living here longer than I have, so she probably knows a little bit more than I do. So let's get into it. So I totally forgot to mention in the video that we actually did a video over on Cecily's channel, so make sure after you watch this one you go back to Cecily's channel after you subscribed and watch that video as well. So the first thing that I want to mention that I had no clue was so terrible is the freaking customer service that is not existent. It's literally not existent, you guys.
When I first moved here, of course, like living in America, you're so used to people having like this bright, cheery smile on their face, even if they don't feel happy that day. You know, it's kind of like, you gotta do it because you're at work.
But I didn't even think that was good, like, because sometimes people get a little bit upset, and I thought that was bad customer service. But then you come to France and all of it is bad.
It's just not, it's non-existent. Like, I would say in the US we really have this phrase that customer is king, and like that concept just doesn't exist in France.
They're not gonna lose their job if they go off on you. So yes, that's the big thing.
That's another thing too. It's so hard to lose your job in France.
Yes.
So they're not afraid to treat you like absolute beep.
They're not, and they do it all the time. Like, it's always cashiers for me.
So true.
Girl, I haven't even gotten my refund from Uniqlo. It was like 3 weeks ago I made an order on Uniqlo, and they like randomly delivered it to my neighbor. That's what it said. And I was like, why would you do that? I'm not my neighbor. And I haven't gotten my refund.
And in the US, you would have gotten that refund in like 24 hours or something. Like,
where's my $90, Uniqlo? You owe me money.
Title this video, Uniqlo, I hate you.
Cancel Uniqlo immediately. I want my $90.
Paris is the capital, so this is where people are most like cold. I feel like they're very froid here. Like, they don't make an effort to be nice and cozy and warm to you. So they will throw your plate onto the table. They will throw your cafe, like a coffee, onto the table. You know, like,
you have that happen?
Yeah, they will literally just like be like,
I wish a bitch would. I wish 2 bitches would.
The way that we have to greet and then dismiss ourselves here in France. When I first moved here, stupid. I didn't know that you politely have to say bonjour or bonsoir when you enter any kind of establishment. Basically, you have to say hello. Not so much if you're like in a grocery store and they're like the cashier's all the way over there. It's just like a sense of politeness for them, and if you don't say hello before asking them for any kind of service, any question, they will not respond to you nicely.
Hello. I had a security guard at the embassy. Like, I walked up to him, tried to ask him a question, and I didn't say bonjour before, and he was not gonna respond until I said bonjour. Like, he just stared at me like, bonjour madame, and I'm like, answer my question, sir.
You're like, I don't have time to say
truly
bonjour.
If they have anything that's considered like a consideration thing, it's bonjour, bonsoir. And if you're on the bus, you walk in, you say bonjour. Now I get offended when I walk on a bus and the bus driver doesn't say it back, so I'm kind of used to it now.
I'm not trying to be rude into the country that I moved in. Like, I decided to move here.
True.
I got to, you know, adapt myself to the situation.
Wow, you're so sweet. I'm not that sweet.
You're like, I'm not saying hello.
No.
She belongs to the street.
Another thing that I wish I knew before coming here is the amount of scams and stealing that happens. I mean, I'm from a big city, LA, but I did not hear of nearly as much stealing and scamming as I've heard of here. Like, there are so many people I know personally and so many people I've heard on like Facebook groups, because I'm in 1,000 Facebook groups, and there's always someone like, I got my phone stolen on the metro, or I got pickpocketed today, or I got my bike stolen. It happened literally every freaking day.
Yeah.
And for scams, there's like always some kind of way that they scam people. Either it's mail-in scams or it's door-to-door scams. Or
I think that a lot of people think it's only tourists that get targeted. It's mainly tourists. Let's say it's like 90% tourists.
Mainly.
But like Parisians also get their stuff stolen too. Like their bag will just be like casually, you know, handled with, and get their phone taken out of there. I don't know why it's like scams are such a big thing here.
Ooh, speaking of scams, I got hella scammed, y'all. Hella. When I first moved into my apartment, I accidentally locked my key inside the door, because here you have to lock yourself in your apartment. So I usually leave my key inside the door, so when I just leave, it's there. And you know, I walked out my apartment, I forgot to take it out, and my key was in the door. So I had to call a locksmith. And now I've heard of locksmiths being expensive here, so when I called them, they're like, it's gonna be $150, madame, and I'm like, fine, I'll cough it up. And then when he got here, he was like, I think it's because he heard me speaking English. If you can speak French, do, because they will take advantage. But when he got here, he was like, oh, it's only $150 for the service. And then he was like, it's $500 more for the lock itself.
We are going to pretend we didn't hear that.
So y'all, guess how much I paid to replace my lock?
I don't want to
guess. I'll wait.
We'll wait.
800 euros. That's like $1,000. My bank account is still balling right now.
And in terms of just like being scammed on the road or in a metro, I would say as long as you have some sort of like common sense with like keeping your bags nearby and always
cautious,
always having like an eye on your pockets and everything that's valuable to you, you should be fine. I have never been like targeted,
especially on packed metros. I'm always holding everything when people are close
people
to me.
will slice through your bag and steal your stuff.
That's why I'm like, I'm always looking behind me every second, like, are you gonna touch my bag? I am ready at all times. Please do not try it.
Okay. All right, third.
You is smart.
Sorry.
All right, number 4 is the bureaucracy here in France is absolutely out of my mind. Like, it is crazy how much paperwork you are required to, first of all, fill out if you live here as an American. Second of all, keep hold of, like, once you're actually living here, because you will be asked for those documents once you have to do anything that has to do with like administration. Yeah, they don't even want them. It's just required. And the second thing with bureaucracy is the people who work in bureaucracy don't even know what is going on themselves.
They don't know.
So you will go to like an official government establishment and you'll be like, I need help filling out these papers to get my visa filed. And they're like, I don't know who you should talk to. I'm like, if you don't know, who's gonna know? Like, is Atavia gonna know?
It's truly the worst thing
my best
ever.
Like, who's gonna know? My
Yes.
grandma? Straight up, they don't make it an easy game for you. It's really like an obstacle where you have to jump through all these hoops and it can be really complicated and you have to be persistent, actually be dedicated, because if you're not, it's not happening, sis.
The next thing I want to mention is that America is literally everywhere. If you're coming to France to escape America, don't come to France, because people always want to talk America to you, and I'm like, stop. I go on dates, people are like, so what do you think about Trump?
What is that?
And they assume that you should like know everything that's happening over there.
They will
right
ask
now.
you every question about America.
I also feel like America is just really glamorized in the eyes of French people, maybe more so
Pre-COVID.
before. Yeah.
Now they see everything and people are like, I'm never going to the US.
Yeah, I
but
feel
before-
like America had like this false, like, fake aura around it, and French people didn't see through it. But now, like, after Trump and COVID, they like see through it, and they're like,
mix.
Nobody wants to go there now. Nobody really glamorizes it anymore, and like, I'm not super hyped to be like talking about my country to anyone right now because of like everything we've gone through. I think that's part due to like all the media and the movies and the books.
For sure. And the TV shows, they're always, I finally have a French TV, and when I log on, it's just American shows dubbed in French. And I'm like, if I'm trying to learn my French, this doesn't help at all. Oh my gosh.
The TV show, yeah.
Yeah, people love Friends here. I don't know why. I haven't watched it. I don't want to watch it, but people always want to talk about it.
It's because it's set in New York. People love this stuff. Like yellow taxi, skyscrapers, America's a dream. The healthcare here is so different compared to the healthcare that I'm used to in the US. I just feel like a lot of things in the US are kind of backwards in terms of just like basic needs. And in France, you don't really have to go through this huge struggle to actually get, I don't know, my teeth checked at the dentist, or new glasses for my eyes, or just getting my hand on birth control. I've been able to receive all of these like basic needs through healthcare. I only had to have my visa to apply for it, and they give you a little card that's called a carte vitale, and it's just extremely useful. It takes off 70% of the initial price of what your care would be.
Ironically, the healthcare is one of the least complicated things here. It's a really good healthcare system, and I learned from being low income in the US and how much I had to go through just to get like one thing solved. And then here you can go to a doctor and see it immediately. It's really lovely.
And I remember I went back to the US for a summer. I think it was 2 summers ago. I had a pink eye. I had to get a prescription from the doctor in order to get the drop. I paid $150
for a
to
pink
see
eye.
a doctor to tell me I had pink eye. And they're still trying to charge me since 2017. I'm like, I'm not paying that.
Don't pay that. You go to the pharmacy, they'll give you little drops, and it's
so mad about it.
That is crazy.
They would charge me €5 in France. America could never.
Never, ever. 4 and 4, right?
Yeah, I think so far we've done 6, so we each have 1 left.
French people be so opinionated. Like, you can do anything and be minding your own business, and here comes that little opinion called theirs, and you never even asked for it. This is especially true if you're dating a French person, or if you have a host family, if you're living with French people. 100%. They will put their input in something. The first host family I had, the mom was always in my business. Like, madam, I did not ask you. You could be walking outside and be smacked by a French opinion.
And I feel like that's why people in the US are they feel a lot more comfortable just walking out of their house in like n'importe quel outfit.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, like no matter, you can leave your house with whatever you want. But like, you go on the metro here, you'll be wearing a slightly kind of like 2 out of 10 outfit, you know? And that Parisian grandma will be eyeing you from across the metro and be like, equally, if you're wearing something a little bit bizarre, unique, something that's not very common in Paris, you know, they're very chic here. They like their black. They like their classic natural look on their face for makeup. If you're not following these guidelines, you will be looked at. Okay, that's the thing too. They're not like sly about it either. Not at all. Like, they don't care if you see them. Dude, I didn't tell you what happened to me on the metro over here. There was this old woman. She was
today.
Parisian grandma.
Oh my gosh.
On the line
grandmas. Them grandmas.
I was sitting, and you know those seats that's like 1, 2, 3, 4. You're facing strangers. There was this lady, she just comes, sits in front of me. I have my headphones on, I don't care what she was saying. But she was like talking to this woman next to her. She points at me and she goes, she's like talking about me. And then the lady next to her was like so uncomfortable because she's like, ma'am, she's like right there. Why are you gonna be saying stuff? And I was like, and then she's talking about like my mask, I think. Maybe I was like, she's like, those masks, like, maintenant les docteurs disent que ces masques ne marchent plus. If met the,
that's ridiculous.
I was like, lady, tell me, I'm right here. Like, why are you gonna go? Oh my god.
Oh, this one, the last one. This one is super important. I've learned this one is important for me now because I'm actually using the language.
Right, so the last thing I wish I knew before moving to Paris is how far my French would take me. Of course, when I first moved here, I wasn't as comfortable with the language as I am now. I knew the basic things such as bonjour, bonsoir, and how to like order things at a restaurant, but I was always kind of shy. But the French people will react 100 times better if you try with your limited French. If you just go straight into like the conversation, be like, hi, I'd like a croissant, please. They'd be like, who do you think you are?
And not even want to serve you.
Like, my friend came to Paris for his first trip here ever. He tried to get into a taxi. He didn't even say like anything in French. He was like, hi, I need to go here. And then he was like, you can leave now. He literally kicked him out of the taxi.
Let me tell you something, where I'm from, we don't do shit like that.
If you know basic words, always do it. I know it can be really scary to like put yourself out there with like your accent and like you're not sound like fluent or whatever, but like even if you know like a few words, just go for it.
Okay, so that's all we have for the things that we wish we knew before moving to Paris. I hope it was helpful for you guys. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys take these into consideration before you move to Paris.
I feel like people have like a
perception,
some like misshaped perception of what they expect Paris to be when they first get here, and hopefully this video has given you a more realistic outlook onto all of that. So
yeah, hope so, because we don't want you guys coming here. I think it's gonna be like Emily in Paris, and it's not. All right, so thank you guys for watching this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and be sure to subscribe to Cecily's channel. She's an amazing content creator and an artist, and she's great. She's my friend, so I can like pump her up. And so if you guys enjoyed this week's video, make sure you give it a big old thumbs up, and also hit that subscribe button down below if you enjoyed it. I hope these tips were helpful, and until next time, bye y'all.
Bye guys.
Bisous. Au revoir.
Au revoir.